IPv6 address simplification rules. In this video, I'm going to talk about the IPv6 address simplification rules, and we have in IPv6 address some rules for simplifying this IPv6 address. And because you know that in IPv6 address in hex notation we have 32 character, and this means that if you want, for example, to address one system with an IP address, you should assign or for example remember the 32-bit character, and this maybe is not so easy. We can use these simplification rules to simpler usage, okay? And in this video, you learned about these simplification rules. We have two simplification rules for the IPv6 address, and we can use for example, these two rules. And also we have one limitation. I want to talk about all of these topics in this video. Now we have three examples. The first example is an IPv6 address that I wrote this IPv6 address in the hex notation. And for example, you can see that in the first IPv6 address in example 1, we have 8 hex states. In every hex state, we have 4 characters between 0 to F. And also this means that in every hex state, we have 16 bits, means 8 multiply 16 equal to 128 bits. The first things that I want to say you is a rule for simplifying, for shortening this IPv6 address. You know that, for example, in real world, if I give you, for example, this number 0, 1, 2, it's equal to 12. You know that the leading 0, the leftmost, for example, 0 can be omitted. You know this. But you can't omit the rightmost 0. For example, 1 to 0 isn't equal, okay, with the, for example, 12. The same rule exists in the simplifying the IP and IPv6 address. Let's talk about this. Look at here. We have this IPv6 address in example 1. I can simplify this IPv6 address. You know that we can omit the leading 0 in every hex state. For example, I can write for quad 0 only 1 0 because I can omit the leading 0. And again, for 001, I can use this only 1. For 0010, we can omit the 20 bit, for example, in the left side. And finally, we should use this number in the fourth hex state. Look at here, hex state. Look at here, 10. You can't omit this 0. Okay, don't forget, because this is the rightmost 0. You can only omit the leading 0. Okay, so easy. Again, for 0100, we can use 10, and after that I can use only 100 in this hex state. Again, we can, for example, omit any 0 in this hex state because F000 can't be, for example, written as, for example, F. Okay, this is not correct. But in the next hex state, 000F, we can omit the zeros and only use the F value for this hex state. Finally, we have 1647. Now, you can write, okay, this IPv6 address with this notation ABCD colon 0, and then 1, and then 10, and then 100, again, F000, and then F, and then 1467. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hex state. There is no difference between this IPv6 address and this IPv6 address. Only this is more compressed. Okay, and we don't have any difference between these two IP addresses. You can use this IP address for addressing or this IP address, the second IP address. The result of configuring both of these IP addresses are same. This is the first rule in the for example, simplification of the one IPv6 address. That is, you can omit the leading 0 in every hex state. This is the first rule. Now let's go to the second rule. The second rule is that if you find, for example, more than one hex state with 0 value, you can compress all of that hex state and use only double colon instead of that hex state. Let's show you what does this mean. Look at here. Here we have ABCD. We can't compress ABCD. And now we have again quad 0. You know that we can compress quad 0 with only 1 0. Again, we have quad 0. We can use 0. And then 0 0 10 0 we should use, or we can use 1 0 instead of this. And 0 1 0 0 I can use only 100, then 0 again, and then F, and then for example 1 4 6 7. Finally the result is ABCD, okay, colon 0, again colon 0, 1 0 1 0 0 again, then 0, then F, then 1 4 6 7. This is the result. As you can see here, we have two hex states, and these two hex states value are 0. In the second rule, with the second rule, we can compress these two hex states. How? You can omit these two hex states. For example, I write again this IPv6 address, but without these two hex states. Let's omit them. Okay. Now you can see we have one double colon. And if you have, for example, more than one hex state with 0 value, you can omit all of that hex states and use double colon instead of that hex states. Okay. Now, maybe you ask me how a device can understand how many hex states of 0 reside in the double colon. Look at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 hex states with a value. Because of that, finally, because all of the hex states number is 8, and now we have 6 hex states with value. Because of that, 2 hex states omitted here, and system can understand that here we have 2 hex states with a 0 value. For example, we can use another example. Let's show you again. A, B, C, D, for example, 0, 0, 0, 0, then quad 0, then quad 0, then quad 0, for example, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, A, B, C, D, and finally 1, 3, 5, 6. How you can compress this IPv6 address? First, A, B, C, D, then 0, 0, 0, 0, okay, omitting the leading 0. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, and then A, B, C, D, and then 1, 3, 5, 6. This is a compressed IPv6 address. And also you can again compress this IPv6 address more. For example, you can write A, B, C, D, and then double colon. Here, I omitted all of these hex states with 0 value and using only one double colon. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, another part of IPv6 address, A, B, C, D, finally 1, 3, 5, 6. Now, because we have 4 hex states with a value, this means that in the double colon, 4 other hex states reside with the value of 0. 6 minus 4, 8 minus 4 is equal to 4. This means that system can understand here we compressed, for example, 4 hex set of 0. This is so simple. This is the second rule. The first rule is that you should, or you can, it's better to you can, omit the leading 0. The second rule is that if you find more than one hex set with 0, you can compress, you can omit all of that hex sets, and instead of that hex set only use the, for example, double colon. This is the double colon. But one limitation exists here, so important. You should use the second rules, for example, compression rules, only one time. You can't use these rules more than one time in one IP address. But why? Look at this IPv6 address. We have an IPv6 address here. I want to compress this IPv6 address. You know that, for example, in the